Hello friends, today I have a video for you with a Vertical Joy Fold card. This is the card, opens up this way and then this way, and the greeting is inside there. So the pieces for this card are the card base is 5.5 by 7.25. And it's scored at 4.25. I'm just going to find my bone folder here. There we go. Okay. Then the smaller card is 7.5 by 3.5, scored at 3.75. And it sits this way into the card, so it opens on the other side. There's some designer series paper that we will be using, and I'm featuring the Fine Art Floral designer series paper. It goes with the art gallery suite. We're going to use this piece of paper, which is a large mural piece of paper, and this one. Okay, these are the other ones that are available. I don't know if you can see them all. So the inside piece for the card is 4 by 5.25. The front flap is 2.75 by 5.25. And then for the front of the little card is a piece 3.25 by 3.5. And this will stamp on and emboss. So first we'll go ahead and do our stamping. These are photopolymer stamps, so you're going to have to remember to use a foam mat underneath so you get a better impression. The colors we're using are Flirty Flamingo, Poppy Parade, and Old Olive. Because it's a two-step stamp, I'm using these two. The stamp set is the Art Gallery stamp set. It also comes with dies, the Floral Gallery dies, but I'm just using the stamp set today. So we'll take the large solid image, ink it up with Flirty Flamingo. And I'm just going to stamp it up in the top left corner, pointing to the top left corner. The second step of the stamp, I will stamp in Poppy Parade. And it's fairly easy to line up. It's fairly forgiving if you make a mistake. So those are the shadows. Now I'll stamp the stem and the leaves in Old Olive. I'll have them come up from the bottom right. Now I want a little highlight in the flower, and what I'm going to use is gilding flakes. I actually have metal leafing, which is very similar to the gilding flakes Stampin' Up! Sells, so I will be using that today. I'm also going to use a product called Heat and Stick Powder, and it goes on just like embossing powder goes on. So I want to use an embossing buddy so it doesn't go where I don't want it to go. See, some of the ink is wet, so it's a good thing I'm using embossing buddy, or it would stick all over the place, and I don't want it to do that. So I'm going to take the center of the flower and stamp it in Versamark. Then I'm going to take my heat and stick powder and pour it where I put the Versamark. I'll need that open. Mine's a fairly old batch of heat and stick powder, so I don't know if the new stuff is this clumpy or not. Mine's old. So there you can see the whitish parts, that's where the heat and stick powder is. Just going to dump this back in. Now, heat and stick powder only takes a moment to emboss. You emboss it till it's clear and not any longer. It will lose its stick if you emboss it too long. So you want to heat up your heat tool a little bit, so just give me a moment. And when it's hot, you bring it to the embossing. And you heat it just until it goes away, just until it goes clear, no more. So that's ready for the flakes, for the gilding flakes. And you can't see it, but it's there. So I have, as I said, I don't have Stampin' Up's brand of gilding flakes. I have Metal Leaf. Mine comes in sheets like this, and I have a little bit in this container. When you open the gilding flakes from Stampin' Up, they are very fluffy and light, and the container will just explode with gilding leaves. And so you have to have a large container ready to put your gilding leaves into, or you will have flakes all over the place, which is not a good thing. I just have a few in this container, and I have some silver ones in here too, but Stampin' Up's is just all gold. So what we do is we pick up the flakes with a brush, and we place them on the place where we put the heat and stick powder, and the flakes will stick to that. So I want all my flakes to sit in there, and I brush it around a bit for it to stick. And this also takes away the excess. And then I just brush the extra back into the container. It can be messy, so be careful, but it's beautiful. Now I want this to have a bit of texture on the front of the card, so I'm going to use the Painted Texture 3D embossing folder. It's textured as if somebody took some plaster and just put it on in an impasto style. So it's bumpy and lumpy and very pretty. So I'll just put the image in there, fold the folder closed, and I'm going to run it through my embossing machine. I use just an ordinary plate, large plate, a 3D embossing mat or acrylic plate, and one cardstock shin. And this is what it looks like when it's done. You can see the texture there. I think it's very pretty. So what we'll do now is we will go ahead and put together the card. Put the designer series paper onto the card. This just gets centered on the back. I'm stuck. It's going to be a little bit crooked. Then I will put the piece on the flap. And this small card, I want to put a greeting inside of it, so I'm going to open it and place it so that it's sitting the wrong way when we open a card. This is opening off to the right. And I will stamp a greeting from Happy Thoughts stamp set. I'm going to use this Happy Birthday here. And I'm going to use Memento ink to stamp it in. Make sure I don't have any black on my fingers. Okay, and I'm going to attach this image to the front of the card with dimensionals. And again, I'm going to make sure that it's opening the wrong way. And I'm going to add the image. Now for this upper corner here, I'm going to use one of the stamps from Many Messages. I'm going to use this little Sending Happy Thoughts right here, just to remind you. It comes as one large stamp with all the sayings on it, and it has a die that is specifically made to cut out each greeting. So you get a whole bunch of greetings when you stamp once and cut. So I've gone ahead and already cut one out. I'm going to use the Sending Happy Thoughts, and I'm going to put it on with some Stampin' Seal Plus. And I want it to stick well. So I'll just put that up in the corner. And this card will be adhered to the inside, again with Stampin' Seal Plus. I will center it, top to bottom and left to right. There we go. And then this part closes, and then this part closes, and that's the card. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share, and have a good day. Talk to you again. Bye-bye.